name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Ava Baroni Combs? Yes, it's breaking news.
Diddy once bragged about adopting a white daughter off the street. In the video, she said her name was Ava Baroni Combs. Twitter's community notes said it was a joke, but people are not so sure. You see, Diddy's ex-bodyguard said the reason Diddy's homes are raided was because he made girls go into ex-traffic work. And some say Ava was part of this ring. And what's even crazier, there is a missing girl named Ava Grace Baldwin who disappeared when she was 14. And the missing picture looks the same. People tracked down her TikTok and people are worried for her since she's in a hotel with a man. So people think that she was sold into this life.
Don't give a F if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, or should not go to jail. When he said that, that was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I mean, he's a devil. If he did both of them, has him do both, he's fucking the devil, dude.
That's evil. That's evil.
Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents but you're my child also. But please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
Yeah. Ava, that's like a little bit like borderline suspect. I don't want nobody to, we want to get it clear. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron, everybody that's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out. So just clarify it because it's crazy out here online. So play with the kids and I got permission from your mother and to say all of that to just make it because it's crazy out here.
Well, I met Jesse and Delilah when I was 6 months old.
6 months.
And then
Did y'all really catch what he said? He picked me up off the streets. 1 minute, then he goes and say, because I was on the streets, living on the streets. Then the next minute he's telling her, oh no, say your parents' name, your other parents' name. That's the confusion right there, just a no statement. But a billionaire picking up a little white girl off the streets and adopting her and calling her his own to come home and play with my kids? Y'all can't see this is trafficking? Okay, all right. Okay, he just helping out a nice little white girl that needed some, a family, okay. Okay. Come on, y'all. Y'all smarter than this. Y'all smarter than this. The way that young girl was talking and looking in the camera and all of that, she had did it before. They were doing that. That's how you shop people to pedophiles and people. We know she used the name of a person. Y'all know what they say about people that are Sagittarius. They freaky as a motherfucker, right? So when she said that was her sign. Or Scorpios, Sagittarius and Scorpios, okay, y'all don't know, all right. Oh, man, that's the most damaging thing I done saw to law enforcement.
Combs will stand trial in May on his sex trafficking charges. A judge at a hearing in Manhattan set the trial date, also discussing a gag order imposed on prosecutors and the defense, telling them not to discuss the case or provide any material about the case to the media, to the public. They contend that the government leaked a damaging piece of evidence potentially against Combs when a videotape from 2016 was played on CNN earlier this year. That video shows Sean Combs and his then girlfriend, Cassie, in a hotel in Los Angeles. It had been a secret, private for many years, but then it came to the forefront and was played publicly on CNN. The defense contends that that tape was leaked by investigators. Prosecutors say they have no knowledge of any leak, and they refute the allegation that they were involved in any leaks. The judge says he will consider potentially having an evidentiary hearing to get to the bottom of that. That won't happen for some time. First, the defense and then the prosecution will submit paperwork outlining their positions on it.
Oh, he's bad boy now.
Oh, wow. Signing your bad boy.
It's a icon alert. It's called He's Bad Boy Now. It's called Don't Ever Play Yourself.
He looks so innocent. The Bible says
no deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept. It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug charges and the sex trafficking. So we know that Diddy has fought charges before. There were state charges, there were gun-related, the nightclub shooting with J-Lo, but he's going to dig in his heels, and this case is going to trial. So if you're prosecutors, you really want to make sure that your evidence is bulletproof before you go down that.
You do believe that Diddy is going to prison? Oh, he going to jail, bro. And I don't wish jail on nobody, on the for real. I don't wish jail on nobody. You understand? But they already got their star witness. And you only, for one charge for the sex trafficking, you only need one witness. One witness. That's crazy.
What are your thoughts on the recent allegations against Diddy and the role Ava's statement could play in the case? Share your opinions in the comments below.
Meaning that whoever is in jail, allegedly, supposedly, is not the real Diddy. This photo always terrified me. There's just something off about this photo. To make matters even more weird, Diddy's private jet is still flying around as we speak and making stops in various locations around the world. Just a few days ago, his private jet was spotted at Auckland Airport, a spot normally reserved for private aircraft. This is from the account Celebrity Jets. They're actually tracking P. Diddy's private jet flight path. And this is when it was landing at New Zealand. And 2 days ago, it was at Honolulu, Hawaii. This is the actual private jet that Diddy owned. And you can see him getting off this private jet here. So what do you guys...
Increasing complexity of the case, a new judge has been assigned to oversee Diddy's legal proceedings. This appointment comes as federal prosecutors gear up to handle an expanding list of defendants, which includes several high-profile names. The decision underscores the gravity of the situation, with the possibility of an even broader investigation looming. Many celebrities linked to Diddy's parties are said to be in a state of panic as arrest warrants and subpoena subpoenas. Rumors of secret tapes containing compromising footage of stars like Jay-Z and Kim Kardashian have only intensified the scandal, sending shockwaves through Hollywood.
Also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes.
You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No, I
tape.
can't explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Some of these stories, because I think it's important to point this out. When you highlight and you talk about some of the charges that have been leveled against him, and you see some of the stuff that's being said about him. Look at this right here. Former Danity Kane singer Aubrey O'Day writes, "I never thought I would see this day," she told TMZ. "We all buried this inside of us in order to be able to keep going. And not just me, but victims you don't even know yet. We're all processing what that type of vindication can actually feel like now. Every conversation I've had with victims last night has been beyond moving on all levels. That was Aubrey O'Day. You know 50 Cent was gonna make sure his voice was heard. Clowning P. Diddy. Taunting him, basically, because he's long taunted P. Diddy for years over the harrowing allegations against him. And what does he say here? This is yesterday, 50 Cent. Here I am, keeping good company with the Drew Barrymore TV show. And I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house. 50 Cent was referencing the over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricants for the freak-offs that the indictment revealed were allegedly found during the raid of Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami back in March.
Celebrities, including Jay-Z, have reportedly gone into hiding after the FBI issued warrants to search their properties. An attorney involved in Diddy's case has allegedly reviewed incriminating footage that features several high-profile figures, some even more influential than Diddy himself. These tapes are said to contain compromising activities recorded at Diddy's infamous parties, potentially implicating major stars in the illegal events now under investigation.
So as you guys know, right now, because Diddy's arrested, a bunch of these Kardashian clips are once again going viral. And it has to do with Khloe, Kourtney, they're talking about Diddy parties, you name it. Well, there's even a little bit more that I don't think I covered. This is from The Sun, here we go. So at the time, Khloe told her sister Kourtney that she had spent the night partying with a string of famous faces. She said that I got on a plane at 5:30 in the morning. Well, this party, I think half the people there were butt naked. You would have loved it. Khloe then turned to her co-star, Kaja, I don't know how to say it, and said, have you met Khloe's new crew of friends? To which she replied, yes. Yeah, I don't think I covered that, so oh my goodness. Also, I want to point this out. When you guys watch the Kardashian clips where they're talking about these Diddy parties and you really watch them, you can tell it's almost like they knew it was weird or bizarre or shocking, right? So Khloe said something along the lines like, oh, Kourtney, did you like the party? And Kourtney's like, yeah. And then they talk about it and then Khloe's like, you loved it? I don't know. It just seems weird to be talking about a party because usually when you go to a party, everyone's like, yeah, the party was sick. It was great. It was a good time. But how they're talking about it just even seems off, bro. I'm just saying. Who knows, man? Tell me what you guys think.
Jay-Z's involvement with Diddy, particularly concerning the Wild Party events, has placed him under intense scrutiny. Likewise, Kardashian's sudden disappearance.
Has anyone seen Ava Baroni? Little white girl that Diddy adopted. Where did he get her from? Was she the pick of the litter? Those poor babies. You know, people should go back and do a little research in the 90s, especially in the mid-late 90s and early 2000s. The diddler used to, for white parties, Bangkok and Dubai and in Morocco, where child prostitution is legal. He's been snatching up little kids for decades. 3 states working in tandem, and they did not tell the officers who they were raiding. They went in tactical as they were instructed to. They didn't know they was raiding Diddy's house. The higher-ups didn't tell anybody because they knew, with Diddy being a Fed informant, that he had people in the force and they wanted to make sure that went through legit. So they ain't tell nobody whose houses they was going to.
And that's why you see the guns.
The cops didn't know that it was Diddy's house over there in Beverly Hills around the corner from the Playboy Mansion. They didn't know until they seen the kids.
Could be unprecedented.
Author of Kim Porter's book says Kim had tapes of Diddy having relations, air quotes, with Jay-Z, Will Smith, and others. Okay, so I told you guys yesterday, and I played a couple of little clips from his interview, but I told you that I was going to sit down and watch the whole thing and come back and talk to you guys about it. So it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. I watched it for you guys so you wouldn't have to, okay? Now, there's a lot of things that this guy is saying that I don't believe when it comes to him and this flash drive that he has. He claims that Kim Porter's friends gave him a flash drive, and that's where he got the book idea and the stuff to write this book that he's put out on Amazon, that Amazon now has taken back. Okay. But although that he is saying some things that just seem very far-fetched and untrue because he hasn't proven it, people are saying there's a lot of things that can be true, and he is saying that he is actually going to produce finally the evidence. So for people like me who don't believe him, or maybe believe some things and don't believe, he's saying that if it comes to it and he's pushed to litigation, that he is going to prove the fact that he does have this flash drive, and on these flash drive there are tapes with Will Smith and Jay-Z and others. He said, and I'm going to play the clip for you in a second, he says Will Smith and Jay-Z can be bisexuals. Actually, you know what, let me not even paraphrase this guy. I'm going to just play the clip. Listen to what he says about Will Smith and Jay-Z and about them being,
and people that with foolishness and people with malcontent, but we are sifting through that and trying to make sure that we identify and vet people that have real claims, legitimate, credible claims. Right now, we're talking about 120 people from 25 different states for conduct that occurred over 25 years.
25 different states? Is that what you said? Not cities. You said 25 different states.
Yeah. Because, a lot of these parties obviously took place in Los Angeles, New York, Manhattan, or the Hamptons, and Miami. And a lot of these people were flown in. And this wasn't a secret. I mean, it was known that people were being flown in for these parties. People were being paid cash to attend these parties. People were being identified at clubs or at concerts or on the street even, and invited to these parties. So you have that group of people that are involved. And then you have another group, and maybe this is the more sinister situation, where, young people with stars in their eyes wanting to break into the entertainment industry with promises of stardom, who are taken advantage of, in some cases allegedly drugged and abused, and basically just left behind, with shame.
Jennifer Lopez's connection to Diddy has come back into the spotlight as both her personal and professional ties to the music mogul are now under scrutiny. Lopez, who dated Diddy in the early 2000s, has been linked to several events at his infamous parties. Although there is no confirmation of her involvement in any illegal activities, her name appearing on the arrest warrant list has sparked a media frenzy. Legal experts suggest that Lopez might be called to testify, especially considering
height of his career, still very much so an icon and influential figure. So she's just a young girl from Northern California who's gonna believe that he had done something to her like this. So she didn't tell anybody. She did not hire an attorney. All she did was make the police report in the hopes that maybe the police would try to investigate and come up with anything. But she said she kind of felt from the police that they were disregarding what she was saying, even without saying Mr. Combs' name. So she didn't feel any confidence that revealing his name would have done anything.
Sure. I mean, but there's a police report.
Yeah.
I mean, that fact in of itself is a big deal, because when you're talking about going back in time and talking about these allegations from other alleged victims, there's not a lot of police reports, but you guys actually have one. And is that going to be revealed? Are we going to be able to see it?
Yes, as soon as I file my lawsuit in civil court, I will be attaching the criminal complaint that was made. I'll attach the number so everyone can see that this is a real number and can go to the police department there and request their own copy of that police report that was made back in 2018.
Well, that's going to be a huge deal when it happens, obviously, so we want to follow up on that. Did Mr. Combs have any reaction? Do you know if he was interviewed? I mean, he was named in the police report?
I don't think so. Based on what she said, she really felt that the police were trying to bury this and disregard her claims and not really investigate, which is another reason why a lot of victims don't report these things to the police. We have to address the elephant in the room is that we have victims, especially women, who go to the police who are typically men who don't actually investigate these things. They victim blame, they victim shame, and women don't feel safe or even protected to even make these claims because they don't think they'll be taken seriously, nor will their claims be investigated.
On the premises that it was for sex trafficking underage minors.
A major developing story that's shaking up the music world. Federal authorities raided 2 properties owned by music mogul Sean Diddy Combs yesterday in connection with a possible sex trafficking investigation.
They're looking for pictures of girls that may appear to be underage in a sexual context. They're gonna go through all those devices. They did a Diddy. Take that, take that. So if they was that dumb to put any videos or anything on any of those type of electronics, it's gonna come to the forefront. And a lot of different agencies can get involved. Just on going on the sex trafficking case, it's whatever they find in there, bro. They find drugs, it goes to the DEA case. They find guns and stuff like that, that's ATF. They wanted to be gangsters. Lil Combs did, so now you're a gangster.
Stories, because I think it's important to point this out. When you highlight and you talk about some of the charges that have been leveled against him, and you see some of the stuff that's being said about him. Look at this right here. Former Danity Kane singer Aubrey O'Day writes, "I never thought I would see this day," she told TMZ. "We all buried this inside of us in order to be able to keep going. And not just me, but victims you don't even know yet. We're all processing what that type of vindication can actually feel like now. Every conversation I've had with victims last night has been beyond moving on all levels." That was Aubrey O'Day. You know 50 Cent was gonna make sure his voice was heard. Clowning P. Diddy. Taunting him, basically, because he's long taunted P. Diddy for years over the harrowing allegations against him. And what does he say here? This is yesterday, 50 Cent. "Here I am, keeping good company with the Drew Barrymore TV show. And I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house." 50 Cent was referencing the over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricants for the freak-offs that the indictment revealed were allegedly found during the raid of Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami back in March.
Victims, because I understand the tremendous courage it takes to step forward. So if you're watching this, please hear me. If you're out there and you have been victimized, you are not alone. There is a great strength in numbers. You can seek redress. You can obtain justice. We can help you, and we will help you. That being said, as stated, we are vetting every call that we receive. We have had to turn away some. For each, we ask for corroboration. For each, we ask for the identity of witnesses. We also have collected pictures, videos, texts. We check venues, we check dates. We want to corroborate that the claims being made have legitimacy and merit. We have on staff now a former detective from the Major Offenders Unit of Houston Police Department who is helping us vet each claim. We're using our common sense. We're being stringent because, as I said, these are not easy cases. They're very tough. The process is hard, and in some cases, the process is very lengthy. These cases are hard to prove. Many times it's the victim's word against the alleged perpetrator. Each of these victims will no doubt be publicly attacked by the alleged perpetrators, and in some cases, the general public. The feckless and cowardly keyboard warriors love to attack. We know what we're up against. We did not enter this fray blindly. I wish it was my last such fray. I wish this type of behavior wasn't so pervasive.
Combs, the video that we shared and talked about together.
Eva Baroni Combs, yes, it was breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child.
I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs.
I did some digging around and found some old photos that go back many years. She was with him when she was very, very young, so she is in fact his adopted daughter. Some are saying this woman in the background here is her mother, but nothing is confirmed. You can see she's been with him in interviews, hanging out with Diddy's daughters. She was seen everywhere with Diddy's daughter. Here's another one. And I mean, they go way back. And here's a few more. So it shows that, yes, indeed, they spent time together and they grew up together. This is, in fact, their sister and Diddy's adopted daughter. However, I found a video that is so suspect. I want you guys to check it out and tell me what you think.
This is my life.
There's a lot of cars now.
This is because I am a great father, but I'm sleeping with the girl. Tell me, who do y'all have a crush on? Tell daddy's truth.
I don't know about you guys, but that video and the way Diddy's acting raises so many questions. So many are asking, where's Ava Baroni Combs now? This is the most recent photo I found. There's another one I'm going to show you, which is this one right here. But sisters and Diddy are nowhere to be found. She's all alone. So what do you guys think happened?